Tough story. Another shocking migrant crime shaking the nation. Tulsa police arresting an illegal immigrant who entered the country under Biden's watch and charging him with the horrific and brutal murder of a Maryland mom of 5 children. Rachel Morin, we now know, was raped, attacked, and killed while she was hiking on a popular route that she had hiked on her whole life in Maryland last August. It's 1,800 miles from the southern border. But you can see the impact of the border crisis that far away. Here's the suspect, illegal immigrant from El Salvador, known gang ties. A new report says Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez tried to enter our country 3 different times through the southern border, successful on the 4th attempt in February of 2023. Now, a month before that, he allegedly killed a young woman in El Salvador and was wanted there for homicide. So 1 month into his stay here, he goes into a house in Los Angeles, brutally attacks a 9-year-old girl and her mom. This is video from the doorbell camera in the Los Angeles attack. And the sheriff who announced the suspect's arrest blasted our broken immigration system.
He tried to come in legally, and he was turned away, and that didn't deter him because we have such a porous border. Every citizen in this country, that is a public safety crisis, and one that we can so easily fix by really coming up with a workable immigration policy for our country. It's just insane that we would allow things like Rachel's murder to happen. And when I say allow it, we allowed it by letting him into this country unchallenged.
So here we go again, Judge. Kate Steinle, Laken Riley, and now Rachel Morin, who should be alive today if we had a system that worked.
This is not the first time that we've seen someone wanted for murder in their own country coming here and murdering an American citizen. And so every time, and I talked about this last week, every time DHS comes out and says to us, oh, we vetted them, like they did with the 8 from Tajikistan with the ISIS connections, one of whom was arrested while they were still here before they figured out they had connections to ISIS. These people are not being vetted. And the American citizens are in danger. Now, if you remember the guy from Pennsylvania, the guy who did that crab walk up the side of the prison, he was wanted in Brazil for murdering his girlfriend, then comes here and murders his ex-partner. Then we find out about an illegal from Venezuela busted 6 times on gun charges, now facing murder in New York City. El Salvador, a guy in prison for murder from 99 to 21, in prison for murder, charged with murder here for murdering someone and burning their body. So what does this tell us? I was grateful to the sheriff who spoke with me for a few minutes. He said this is the second time in that county that an American citizen, a woman, has been murdered by an illegal. All right, so the issue is very clear and the numbers are clear. In 2023, there were 1,700 charges and convictions for homicide. And in 2023, 73,000 non-citizens were arrested for crimes. All right, so what we've got is a crime problems by illegals, and it's a slap in the face to American citizens when the liberal solution is, oh, the Republicans and the Democrats need to get together. That's hogwash. You close the border. The solution is not to throw more money to give more judges and more ICE agents. And we just found out from Bill Mnuchin there's 1 ICE agent to 7,000 illegals. No, I don't want more ICE agents. I want you to close that border. And until you deal with the illegals who are here, that Joe Biden just gave 350,000 of them amnesty last week, then we are sitting ducks. So my question to Joe Biden, why are you doing this to America? Why did you make a decision to close the borders after Trump closed them? Why did you cancel his executive orders? And you know what? We have this saying, no one's above the law. Well, in this country, illegals whose first act when they come into this country is to violate the law, the illegals are above the law. And how many times has Trump got hammered for saying they're not sending us their best? And the truth is, 60% of Americans want them rounded up and deported. And when you vote November, vote like your life depends on it, because it very well may.
Jesse, that's exactly where I was going to go with you. We have heard President Trump since the 2015 election, or when he started campaigning in 2015, they're not sending their best. And it seems to me a powerful moment in the debate, which Harold brought up, is sadly the images of these individuals who are no longer with us. Clearly, these people were killed and their livelihood taken away by not the best of Latin America.
Joe Biden should get on the phone tonight and call the victim's family. These are angel moms, angel families. You do it for Gold Star families because you're making a decision as the president to put men and women in harm's way. And when they pass away, you get on the phone, or at least you write a letter. His policies on the border are putting our people in harm's way, and he should call the victim's family. He won't, but he should. Janine's right. Majority of the country now want mass deportations. Majority of Hispanics want mass deportations. It's going to be tough. It's going to look bad. I'm sorry. That's what has to happen. Donald Trump is going to have to clean up the mess Joe Biden made. He broke the border. Trump's going to have to fix it. It's going to look bad, but it has to be done. I have a driver that lives in Queens. And he used to go to the car wash, and he used to get his car done there for $28. He says there's a Guatemalan guy now that has a van with a water tank in it, and he comes to the house, and he does a great job, not a speck of dust anywhere, $20. I said, that's great. Some of these people are here to work. But then I thought to myself, wait a second, that's driving down American wages.
Yep.
And then you look at CNBC that come out with this headline today. Open borders are helping inflation and driving down wages, which is good for the economy. What? How can they say that? Some of these guys work. Some of these guys are on a North American crime spree. You can't take your chance.
And they don't really want to talk about this issue at all. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how President Biden dodges on this. They usually go directly to abortion or, democracy under threat.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to focus on how the media is dealing with this because I think we covered this a little bit. There's no question she's a victim of a depraved killer, but she's also a victim of TDS in the sense that she would be alive if the Democrats had not allowed their emotional hatred towards Trump to inform their decisions about immigration. If they had listened to Trump, she might be alive, but you can't agree with Trump, and the media can't agree with Trump. This is one of those crimes and moments that should change things because it's like the most obvious example of cause and effect of a murderous policy that leaves innocent people dead, and yet it just rolls by, just like Laken Riley. It always just rolls by. That mainstream media barely covers this stuff, and that's what gets me to my question: why do some victims matter more than others? The media picks and chooses their victims based on the muscle of the activist. And the activist elevates perceived threats over real ones because you can grow that perception when you can't grow numbers. So you have Democrats believing that thousands of unarmed black men are killed every year by police, which is obviously wrong, or that hundreds, perhaps thousands of trans teens kill themselves by suicide every year. We know that's wrong. But they still command attention. Meanwhile, the mother of 5 is raped and murdered and gets barely any attention at all, except here on Fox. Do you think Rachel Moore and her kids benefited from the political leaders' obsession with climate, pronouns, and gender? No, she was actually punished for that because of the opportunity cost of these luxury beliefs led to the neglect of things like illegal immigration, crime, and the border. The average American's plea for some kind of safety was pushed aside for those luxury beliefs that are always trendy. But somehow this isn't trendy. Talking about, murders by illegal immigrants just isn't cool for the media, or is it for the Democrats either?
Hogwash. Hogwash. Brutal. Brutal. Allegedly. Allegedly. Blast. Blast. Deter. Deter. Porous. Porous. Busted. Busted. Slap in the face. Slap in the face. amnesty, amnesty, round up, round up, deport, deport, speck, speck, spree, spree, dodge, dodge, depraved, depraved, hatred, hatred, perceive, perceive, obsession, obsession, pronouns, pronouns, neglect, neglect.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.